All auto insurances are accepted. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call. Car accident? Don't worry. Call for Curry. BestInjuryCare.com.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. From serving our country to serving our community. Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Residential and commercial. And now, 3 rooms for just $99. Check their website, silverbackrestoration.com.
Hurricane Maria left Puerto Rico in ruins. They need our help. The office of Dr. Juan Jordan is asking the public to help with non-perishable food, lanterns, battery-operated fans, diapers, insect repellent, etc. Drop-off sites include Dr. Jordan's office in Lady Lake, Country Oaks Veterinary Clinic in Summerfield, Forest High School, and Golden Ocala Tennis. For more information, contact Dr. Jordan's office at 352-633-0473, and thank you.
25 minutes before 8 o'clock, 72 degrees. Temperatures are expected to climb to 93 degrees today. So even though the calendar says September 27th, you live in Florida, so it still feels like summertime. 94 degrees is the expected high tomorrow with partly cloudy skies. There is more of a mention of rain tomorrow. Not much, about a 7% chance. Only 1% mentioned today. I can't even believe they tell you when it's 1%. Friday, a 15% chance of rain, and Saturday, a 35% chance of rain. So not a whole lot of rain activity right now for a little while. We kind of had enough, don't you think? There's plenty of water out there, it seems like. All right, let's talk about some of the things in the news. The phone lines are open. As I mentioned earlier, we have a lady coming on, meteorologist lady, Cheryl Nelson, coming on to talk to us about being prepared for the next big one. Maybe we weren't as prepared as we could have been, and maybe that's because we became, what was it called?
Complacent?
Thank you. Or maybe we just haven't lived here long enough. If you lived through any hurricanes, you probably were more prepared than those who had never lived through it. Or maybe not. Maybe somebody who never lived through it was actually more scared and prepared than the rest of us who actually lived through them. But
I think most everybody did a good job this time around, because it was like a week out and everything, and people were collecting whatever they needed to collect, and I think people did an awesome job.
Well,
some people, the majority.
All right, but you're talking about the people here in Marion County.
Yes.
Yeah, I think here, because we didn't get hit as hard. But if you go down south, there are some stories of people who regret staying.
Oh, yes.
Regret staying, and so maybe we'll maybe this won't apply to us as much as it will to us if we ever move down there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, let's see. State officials will gather for a ceremonial event in Santa Fe, New Mexico today, where they will sign a landmark Colorado River water sharing deal. How do you feel about this one? The U.S. and Mexican governments established an agreement that will manage how they use the Colorado River and its tributaries, which provides water for about 40 million people and more than 5 million acres of farmland. The agreement will call for a U.S.-funded program to invest $31.5 million in water conservation projects in Mexico, and that includes infrastructure upgrades such as concrete lining for leaky canals and other improvements to reduce water losses from distribution systems. It's a real issue in the Southwest. Water is hugely important, of course, for all of us. But in the Southwest, where it's dry, it's very arid. It's very important. I don't see a problem with this.
No, as long as they don't abuse it and get those water bottling companies in there that's in our area that wants to drain our rivers dry, then they'll be fine.
There you go. Let's see. There's a local story about a 18-year-old guy whose uncle is a Marion County deputy. And when his uncle decided to take a weekend off, he broke into his uncle's house, got his uncle's uniform and keys, and took the car. Oh. And he was pulling people over.
Oh, how stupid. What a jerk.
Oh, my gosh. So now he's charged with 8 felony charges. The uncle came home and said, hey, somebody broke into my car. And somehow they figured out that it was his nephew. And they also figured out that he had been pulling people over, fake traffic stops. Anyway, so I love,
Hope he's in jail.
I love that he is. $33,000 bond, by the way.
Good.
Anyway,
Good, that'll teach him.
He did the traffic stop to try to impress his girlfriend.
Yeah, well, she was a ride-along? Is that what it was?
You know what? There was somebody in the car. It didn't say if it was her or not, but
Yep.
I wonder if she was impressed.
Probably not.
Or was she sitting in the car going, you're going to get in big trouble. You can't be doing this.
Yeah, and why did she go in the car in the first place
Well, it
if she
doesn't
was sitting
say
in
she
there?
did. It says somebody was in the car. It doesn't say who was in the car with him.
Yeah, no matter what it is, you're going to get caught. It might take time, but you're going to get caught.
Do you ever have a guy do crazy things just to impress you?
I think so. Yes, I can say yes.
Hey, watch this, Robin.
We'll say yes.
Watch this. I bet I can do this. I bet I can jump over this thing here.
You guys, you just... It's all for the woman.
This is a horrible story. A lady in Tennessee was arrested in the state of Virginia, but 27 years ago she lived in Palm Beach, and police arrested her because they say DNA evidence points to her in a murder case that was reopened, and they used DNA evidence to implicate that she was who killed the lady who was the wife of the man she ended up marrying.
Oh, jeez.
And she did it dressed up like a clown.
Oh, yeah, I heard your story on your news this morning. Gosh.
According to this, the sheriff's office says the woman dressed up like a clown 27 years ago and then shot and killed the wife of the man she is now married to.
How could they both live with themselves knowing that they both knew that she murdered his wife?
That's my thought, too. He must know.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't say he was arrested, but in fact, it says detectives have not said whether he was involved in his former wife's death. But, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but he must know. How can you live with yourself
How can you? I don't know.
taking a life?
All right, yesterday and this past weekend, FEMA was in Ocala, and they've been here pretty much ever since the storm. But they've been asking people to come see them in person if you would prefer to, as opposed to using the phone or using the internet. Many people do prefer in person, and they were in the library this weekend. They were at the sheriff's office yesterday, and they will be there today.
Yes.
Now, the news item says... hold on, they say, what do they call it? The Marion County Emergency Operations Center. Well, that Emergency Operations Center is at the sheriff's office.
Yes.
If I'm wrong, please tell me, but I Googled it, and the address, 692 Northwest 30th Avenue, is the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Let me re-Google
Yep.
it. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. That's the main branch.
692, what is it called again? 692 what? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, where did it go now?
692 Northwest 30th Avenue.
692 Northwest 30th Avenue, Marion County Emergency Operations
Yeah, it's
Center.
the sheriff's office. It's the same address as the sheriff's office. So that's where you would need to go. And again, you don't need to show up in person, but some people prefer. I'm one of them. I actually prefer to be in person with people.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Something like this. I have questions. The phone sometimes seems to get in the way. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Just to let you know, the Emergency Operations Center is in the very back of the sheriff's office. At the back of the parking lot.
Ah, okay. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. That sounds like Karen. Is that Karen? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway,
Okay,
thank you. So
that's-
it's on that property, but she says it's at the very back. So, so they will be there today, and it says here that citizens have 60 days to apply for help. The one thing I will ask you is to spread the word. We don't want anybody to have had their home destroyed or their lifestyle completely turned upside down. Karen Hill, I believe that was on the phone right there.
Yes, I think so. Thank you, Karen.
Deeply involved with the homeless people. So how many people potentially could be homeless or are homeless because of that storm that maybe could have everything put back to the way it was, made whole again, in other words, just with a little help from your friends at FEMA. And you know what? It's nothing to be ashamed of. But here's the thing I want to ask you, because a lot of people don't listen to the show, obviously, and a lot of people don't speak English.
Yes.
And so if you are bilingual and you do speak both languages, I would think Spanish is the other predominant language in our community. please tell those folks. We have a couple of fundraisers for Puerto Rico that we're announcing. One is with Dr. Jordan's office down in the Villages.
Yep.
And same thing there, too. If you can spread the word to those non-English speaking friends of yours, that would be greatly appreciated.
And one is this Saturday on the downtown Ocala Square. So we're,
What is that?
On the downtown Ocala Square this Saturday.
Oh, a drive for food and stuff like
Right.
that? Okay.
Right. So Dr. Jordan's office and the downtown Ocala Square are the two main ones that are going on this week.
All right, we are taking a break right now. We do have a guest coming up in just a little bit, and she is going to kind of talk about this a little bit. She is a meteorologist. She won an Emmy for her award for her work as a meteorologist on TV, and she's talking to us about ways to prepare to be better prepared when there's a weather calamity, I guess we'll say. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A mostly sunny Wednesday with a high of 89 to 93. And mainly clear winds tonight, though 69 inland, 75 along the coast. Mostly sunny for Thursday, high 89 at the coast, 94 inland. For Friday, times of sun and clouds with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson from Verizon. You work all day, right? So why would you want to spend your night out shopping for that new phone? Well, Marion County, let me and Verizon help you out. I can deliver to your home or office, saving you precious time. Phone, tablets, internet, home phones, even accessories. Whatever you need, we will deliver free of charge. Call me at the store, 352-528-0020. That's 528-0020.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs. And all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Here is your 30-second news brief. FEMA will be at the Marion County Emergency Operations Center today to help with hurricane disaster assistance. A 54-year-old Palm Beach woman has been charged with murder for dressing up as a clown 27 years ago and fatally shooting the wife of her future husband. Health insurance premiums in Florida are expected to rise 45%, and an 18-year-old Ocala man was arrested for taking his uncle's deputy's uniform and patrol car and conducting fake traffic stops to impress his girlfriend. And that is your news brief from the source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A mostly sunny Wednesday with a high of 89 to 93. And mainly clear winds tonight, though 69 inland, 75 along the coast. Mostly sunny for Thursday, high 89 at the coast, 94 inland. For Friday, times of sun and clouds with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Life South would like to honor and thank all of our Hispanic blood donors during Hispanic Heritage Month. O-negative blood is the most commonly used because it is the universal donor, and 66% of the Hispanic population is type O. Hispanic donors are more likely to be a match with Hispanic patients. Make sure you do your part for your community by finding your nearest blood mobile or center. Visit lifesouth.org for more information. Hasta pronto.
One of the best things about living in beautiful Central Florida is that we get to have a garden all year long. Spend some time on Tuesday mornings in the garden with Carol Ann Baldwin right here on WOCA The Source from 9 till 10 a.m. Carol Ann will take your phone calls, and she'll even check out your photos on her In the Garden Facebook page. Grab a tall glass of something refreshing and spend an hour in the garden with Carol Ann each Tuesday morning right here on The Source, WOCA.
Howdy folks, RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
If you or a loved one is suffering with knee, shoulder, neck, back pain, or tennis elbow and would like to learn how to get out of pain, go to Regenetic.com. Then listen in on the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. to the people that give you the regenerative medical solutions to your pain. Regenetic, first and third Thursdays, 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source, Regenetic.com.
All right, 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. Not a bad looking Wednesday morning compared to just a couple weeks ago, right? And we're not complaining when we see mention of rain in the forecast, although in today's case, there was like no mention. I think it says 1% on the AccuWeather website. We have on the phone somebody who knows a little bit about weather. She actually won an Emmy for her work as a meteorologist. Her name is Cheryl Nelson, and she's going to give us some information. How prepared were we for Hurricane Irma a couple of weeks ago? I think in Ocala, it hit us pretty hard, but it did not hit us as hard as it did, for example, in the Keys.
Yeah.
But it could have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you were here in 2004, you might remember we kind of had it really, really bad with that one.
Yeah, four hurricanes.
And anybody who went
back-to-back.
through Andrew, or if you happen to have lived up in the New Orleans area during Hurricane Katrina, the things you need to do. And one of the things that everybody talks about every time one of these events happens is generators. So I wanted to make sure we squeeze that in here as well. Cheryl Nelson is an Emmy-nominated and Associated Press-winning certified broadcast meteorologist, and she's also a preparedness advisor for Cummins, which is a power company. Good morning, Cheryl. Thank you for being on the air with us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Where are you?
I am in Norfolk, Virginia.
In Virginia. How's the weather in Virginia? Isn't Maria hitting you right now?
Yeah, so Maria is going to be pulling off the coast today, but it's been pretty nasty here. Just kind of windy and that misty rain and dreary, but nothing like what you guys went through with Irma.
Yeah, but you've had your share up there, too. It doesn't seem to discriminate. The hurricane just goes where it wants to go, doesn't it?
I know. I wish I could say something to Mother Nature about that.
But the one thing
if I had my way.
we were talking this morning. We were wondering how many people who've never been through a hurricane, who moved to Florida, were actually better prepared because of fear. Like a lot of us became complacent because I've been through this before. I don't really need to worry about it. And then we sat for a week without electricity.
Mm-hmm. I know it's really scary to think about that, and you got to wonder because I remember 2004. You had all those hurricanes back to back to back,
right.
Then we go 13 years without one, but I think it's probably half and half. You probably have people who have grown complacent, and then you have the people who have moved there in the past 13 years. And you're right; they probably were living in fear for so long.
So, what do you think? Did you kind of watch the TV and see how we did? Were there any instances where you said, "Well, that guy was better prepared than this guy"? I mean, what kind of things did you see that you could give us some feedback on?
Oh, I was glued to the TV. You couldn't pull me away from it, actually. And one of those things I think. What I don't like is people who did not evacuate. And I remember seeing one interview in particular, and I think it was down in the Florida Keys, actually, and they interviewed a guy, and they said, "Don't you think you should have left?" And he goes, "Well, I'll just ride out the storm." And the meteorologist came on afterwards and said, "I think that guy's in trouble. The storm surge there is not going to be good." But when I see stuff like that, I'm going, oh, okay. Heed the warnings. If people tell you to evacuate, if officials tell you that, please evacuate. And I know people are scared to do so, but you really got to listen to the officials, and you got to take your family, your pets, anything that you need with you out of that location and get to safer ground.
Yeah, so right now we're a little bit, saying, phew, we missed it. We almost dodged a bullet. There are people in our community who did not dodge a bullet. Let me be clear that there are people who have no homes right now in our community. So I don't want to have them listening and thinking that I'm saying that they made it through unscathed, because we did have some bad damage here. So what could we do? I mean, is a generator would help in many cases, I would guess.
Oh, yeah. The generator, I think, is really going to be key. And that goes into your long-term disaster plan. And we're not just talking about hurricanes, but also heat waves could knock out power, tornadoes, other types of disasters as well. And now is really the good time to start thinking about getting that standby generator. And the one I recommend is the Cummins Quiet Connect. What's great about that one is it's installed by a pro hooked up directly to your house's natural gas or propane line, so you don't have to worry about moving it around or filling it up with gasoline. It turns on instantly, quiet, compact. It stays on when the power goes out, and you can also program it to power what you need in your house, and it stays on for that duration of your power outage. So it's not going to be like Puerto Rico, where unfortunately the island is without power right now unless you have a generator.
Yeah. And would they still, are the people there that had propane, or what's it called, natural gas or propane? What do we call it? Propane?
Propane.
It's actually either one you can hook it up to.
So do they, I mean, do you know, are the people in Puerto Rico with the natural gas or propane generators, like, for example, the hospitals, do they have them?
Yeah, I was actually listening to a report this morning about a hospital in Puerto Rico, and they only have 1 out of 5 operating rooms available, and they've got 1 generator that's running, and it's only powering the ICU,
Wow.
which is so, it's just, I know, to think about that going, oh my gosh, and the generator is still running, but you got to remember that island, I mean, they only have a certain amount of fuel, propane, natural gas before things get cut off. I mean, at least for us, in Florida and the rest of the country, you know, we've got that connection to the rest of the mainland. But when you're on an island, it can only last for so long.
Can Cummins supply generators to homes that are now being built, so it's like part of the structure like the air conditioning units are?
Oh, yeah, and that's the great part about it, and that's the time to do it, actually. If you are building a home, I mean, that's one thing you can do is say, hey, can you hook this up to the natural gas or propane line, have it hooked up right to the house, and then you don't have to worry about it.
The one word you said earlier was quiet. I know that's kind of superficial when everything's falling apart. Who cares if there's a little noise? But one of the comments I heard from a lady we know who had a generator was that it was so nice that 4 hours every night when we all went to bed, because finally you had that noise that would stop. Mm-hmm. So you used the word quiet. I know, it's crazy. Well, fortunately, Cheryl, it was a little cool. It was a little cool at night after the hurricane, so that wasn't. So we didn't really need air conditioning at night. In fact, I don't think those generators work the air conditioners. I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
The standby ones can. If it's just a little portable, loud generator, probably not. I don't think those are big enough or strong enough to power that. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because those portable generators are so loud. I mean, it sounds like everybody's running their lawnmower at the same time.
Yeah.
And so when those go off, I mean, the standby generators, you'll barely notice it. And so I think that'll keep your neighbors a lot less cranky as well.
Well, what do you keep in your hurricane preparedness kit so that you have something to grab and go really quick?
Good question, and I practice what I preach. I actually have a disaster kit at home and also in my vehicle, and I've got everything kind of put into this big backpack, and that way, if there were ever, say, a tornado warning, I would grab that backpack and go to my safe room. And some of the things that I have in it are some of your basic necessities. I've got some water in there. You also want non-perishable foods like granola bars. I have a flash drive with all my important documents on it and a home inventory. So that way, if your home gets destroyed, you can prove everything that you had in your home.
Wow.
Well.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is a great idea. It's really cool to have that. And then at least $100 in cash in single dollar bills, because ATMs won't work after a disaster and people likely won't be able to give you change. And then another thing that I think is great for kids and the elderly is an ID bracelet with a USB emergency ID band. And that way you can put important medical information on that, and they can put that or wear that on their wrist as well.
Oh.
Wow, you are a smart lady.
Yeah.
You're wonderful.
Thank you. I've been doing this for a while.
We talked about having cash, but I never thought of single dollars. I never thought of the fact that we won't be able to give change as merchants.
I learned that after Hurricane Katrina actually went through New Orleans, and I heard stories about they had stands with people giving out or selling bottled water, and they said, okay, $2, and somebody gave them a 20, and they said, okay, thanks. And they're going, where's my change? He's like, sorry, bud.
Wow.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I remember after in 2004, I remember going like to one of the big box stores or something, and there were all kinds of generators on sale. And 13 years later, I'm guessing the technology has made them better. And I like the word quiet.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, we actually, every once in a while, the radio station will do a remote broadcast, and we have to have a generator if there's no way to plug in. And it is nice to have a quiet generator. Oh, my gosh. We're almost out of time. How do we find out more? Do you have a website you can send us to?
I do. homegenerators.cummins.com/ahead of the storm, and there's videos and a downloadable brochure with tips for any season.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
homegenerators.cummins.com/ahead of the storm. We'll make sure we put that on the podcast here. Cheryl Nelson, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump endorsed Senator Luther Strange, but Judge Roy Moore wins Alabama's Republican primary runoff election, saying we can make America great.
But we must make America good, and you cannot make America good without acknowledging the sovereign source of that goodness.